Welcome to Joe the Barber's weekly podcast, where your money, your health, and your final will all be trimmed up. We're talking with dorm groomers, sharpest customers, pros in investing, elderly care, living trust, estate planning, and all the stuff that people ignore until life punches them in the face. It's real talk about living well and dying with your finance not in complete chaos. So buckle up. The show is about to start.
Hi, everyone. This is Joe the Barber Podcast, and my name is Joe the Barber. I'm just here to give a little advice for most of my people, especially for those of you over 40. There are three people you need in your life. If you're over 40, you own a home, have a couple dollars in the bank, you own a car, or any major investment. It doesn't matter how little it is. You need three people in your life. That's an attorney, a financial advisor, and an accountant. What I want you to do is sit with your attorney and ask your attorney a couple questions, like, what is a living trust? What is a will? What is estate planning? Stuff like that. Let them explain it to you, and you take it from there. Also, you need an accountant because there are a whole lot of people who are retired and happen to be collecting Social Security and paying more taxes than they were paying when they were working. These are simple steps you can take. So my advice to you again is sit with your accountant and discuss those kind of things. I'm a notary public, but I'm not in a position to advise anybody on neither legal, accounting, or financial advice. And these are problems I keep coming across. But when I come across these problems, it happens to be when it is too late. Now, I'm called upon numerous times to visit nursing home, people in their home, hospitals. That's when their loved one either have dementia, Alzheimer's, on the way out. And this is where the war starts, simply because nothing was put in perspective. If you're over 40, this is something that you have to do. Sit with those three people. Now, people don't expect to end up, or they don't plan to end up in nursing home, and that's where elderly care becomes a big problem. Elderly care is a major problem in our neighborhood. And I must say this to you, it has caused a lot of problems amongst families. Who is taking care of mama or grandma? Who's the one closest to her? Who can make financial decisions? And these are things that create a lot of problems among family. So this is why I'm asking you to put all this stuff in order and have all your ducks in a row before anything happens. Now, an attorney, an accountant, and a financial advisor, all three together, can help you ease the burden of family feuds and major expense later down the road. Retirement it sounds simple to a lot of folks, and they like to jump and say, oh, I'm retired. But when they start paying the taxes, next thing you know, you're paying more taxes than you're supposed to. I have two stories to tell, but I'm gonna tell them at the end of this particular broadcast. As a notary public, I'm not allowed to give any advice in the areas I'm not a professional. People force me to say, oh, what's your opinion? What would you do? No, I cannot do that. So one of the things I do not do as a notary public is a quick claim deed. A quick claim deed is the quickest and easiest way to sign your real estate over to someone. But I simply don't do that because I know that's when a family is in crisis. So to avoid doing that, I ask them for a bond, which is 99.99% of people come to do a quick claim deed don't have, or a court order guardianship. Most people don't have that. So I do that to avoid doing a quick claim deed because later on, it can be a lot of problems for the notary public. So that's one. A power of attorney is documents that you can use to take care of your loved one business on their behalf. Most times the person is incoherent, are not aware, but yet they force them to sign that particular document. And I do not do that when the person is in that stage. Let me just say this. Everyone know someone or a loved one who've been through all this stuff. And you know it, but yet you're not prepared. In the future shows, we are going to have professionals on here who can advise you on what to do in certain area, especially elderly care, living trust, and a will, and anything that can help you when you get to that point. Now, let me just say just one story. Let me tell you this first story. There's a whole lot of senior citizens and elderly who actually trust me. And rest assured they can put their trust in me. And I do whatever I can to help them. And I used to help a young man, call him a young fella, he's older than me, with most of his business. So I know most of his business. Well over 10, 15 years ago, he passed away. He have a substantial amount of money in the bank. When I say substantial amount, I mean enough money that you and your grandkids could live without even working. And he have no wife, no kids, no brother, one sister. She's a little older. She don't know much, but she have a daughter who's not too smart upstairs. In order for that daughter and the sister to get that funding over, it has to be probated. That's where an attorney comes in. The daughter told one of the neighbor, oh, do what you are got to do and send the rest to me. No, it doesn't work like that. To this day, all that money is sitting right there. And it probably went down to the state unclaimed fund. I mean, a substantial amount of money. That's because there was no preparation. And the state going to get all that money leaving our community. Because the daughter of the sister doesn't show any sign of doing anything. I don't think she realized how much money it is because we told her. And she still haven't done anything. Let me tell you this other story. Someone came to me and their spouse passed away. 2 homes in the Bronx and 1 in Jamaica. all paid for. And her spouse name was on all these property. So she have to get it probated to her name, which is she's next of kin, which should be easy. But she had he had kids that wasn't hers, and she had kids that's not his. So it's a little bit of war, but there's only one person who's next of kin that's entitled, and that's the spouse. And I sent it to an attorney, and that attorney happened to be Black, Jamaican, female. There's a reason why I said that, and you'll get the story sooner or later. And she went to the attorney charged her $150 consultation fee. Usually when an attorney charges a consultation fee, please pay the consultation fee, because most people sit with an attorney, get legal advice, and then take the advice and all the legal knowledge that they have from that attorney to another attorney and give them the money. So that lawyer will sit with you, get nothing. That's not fair. Anyway, she think that $150 was a bit too much. And she went to another attorney who did not charge her a consultation fee. This attorney was white, male, and Jewish. And she felt good about this attorney. The attorney went and did all the paperwork for her and ended up charging her in excess of $75,000. What the attorney did was charge a percentage of the estate. There's a fixed rate for attorneys charging for estate. I didn't know that. So that was way overpriced. But the job was already done and she have to pay that. Then she run back to me and want to go back to this other attorney. And I called the attorney and I explained to her. She said she don't want to deal with that client because she already gone the wrong way. Case in point, if I advise you, I'm going to someone, please, it's someone that I trust. And they have to do what they have to do because I'm involved. And they know I don't play that. They have to treat you right. There's basically two attorneys I send most of my clients to. And I trust both of them. As a result, they are very, very busy. Very busy. Because lately, our people start having a little bit of wealth, a little bit of money. Because we own homes, most homes paid off for, the value of $600,000-$700,000, some $1 million. And that's in itself, it's the value of your estate. That's a lot of money. Don't let the state take it. Do what you have to do to keep it in your family. Now, sometimes grandpa died, your grandpa favorite, and grandpa has a car, or daddy died, your only child, and daddy has a car. And you say, oh, okay, I'm going to take daddy's car. No, you can't take daddy's car like that. You need paperwork. Sometimes if daddy or grandpa is in a certain situation where car have to be impounded or whatever, then that car could be sold before you get paperwork to take that car and you lose that particular car. It's not as simple as you think. So I'm saying all this to say, most of the times people run to a notary public, ask them, oh, back there is no, a notary public not going to do that for you. They will never do that for you. And that's the only quick way of, let's say, getting a car in your name. No, you have to probate it. That's why I'm saying you're over 40 years old. These are people you have to get in your life for you to make life easy for you and your loved one. There's a lot of us getting stroke and all that kind of stuff. And when you get stroke, that's where the problems start. A lot of us not taking care of our health. And we're going to speak about that also. So case in point, please get these folks in your life, an attorney, an accountant, and a financial advisor. This is Joe the Barber, and this is Joe the Barber Podcast. Please like, subscribe, share, and love me. Thank you, and have a good one.